How's it going, everyone? It's Harvey from Weather SpongeBob. Today is October 3rd, 2021, and today we're going to focus on the average temperatures you should expect for this winter in each region of the United States and determine whether or not you'll experience a colder than average winter or a warmer than average winter. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather records. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather records. So to first determine what type of temperatures we'll see this winter throughout the United States, we need to take a look at one of the most important factors that really determine the temperatures overall for the winter in the United States, and that's the ENSO outlook over the next couple months. And you see that if we were to take a look at the ENSO forecast with it over the next couple months, which includes the winter 2021 and 2022, you see that we're more likely than not going to experience a La Nina phase. And what this means is that we typically see colder than average conditions throughout the northern United States, but warmer than average conditions throughout the southern United States. So this is definitely a huge indicator that we're going to see a colder than average winter in the northern United States. And you see that it is most likely over the next several months in the winter we're going to experience a La Nina headed into the months of November, December, January, and it's not until February where we have pretty much an equal chance between a neutral and a La Nina phase. But by that time, it's already going to be late winter, as majority of the winter it seems most likely we're going to be in a La Nina phase. So that's definitely something we want to keep in mind while making this forecast. Now, taking a look at what happens during a La Nina, of course you see that there's that variable polar jet stream dipping down further southward than what typically would happen during, let's say, El Nino phase or even a neutral phase, as we begin to see that cold air dip further southward. And we see, while this graphic doesn't show it, we also see a Pacific jet stream moving through the Pacific Northwest, and that typically brings a lot more moist than average conditions, and as a result cooler than average conditions in the Pacific Northwest. And we typically see a more drier climate during a La Nina in the southern United States, which pretty much means that it's going to be warmer than average during a La Nina, because typically when it's drier than average, then that means that of course there's less clouds to block that short wave radiation from hitting the surface, and as a result the surface absorbs a lot more energy and heat from the sun than, let's say, if we were in a more moist environment where the clouds reflect back a lot of that short wave radiation into space, or absorb a lot of that short wave radiation from the sun for the temperature not really to rise when it's more moist and cloudy overall. So as a result, typically warmer than average conditions occur in the southern United States, while colder than average conditions occur in the northern United States as a result of a jet stream dipping further southward, bringing a lot of that colder Canadian air further southward as well. Another factor we need to take a look at is the snowfall patterns during La Nina years, and you see that the northern United States, of course, sees more snowfall as a result of a colder winter. And while more snowfall is definitely shows that it's going to be a colder than average winter in the northern United States, what it also does is when there's a lot of snow on the ground, the snow absorbs a lot of that short wave radiation from the sun during the melting process, and as a result that absorbs a lot of heat from the air within the area, that absorbs a lot of heat from the atmosphere. And as a result, when there's more snow on the ground, it's more likely going to be colder in general, because the snow is absorbing a lot of that heat to allow for that snow to melt, rather than that short wave radiation being absorbed by the ground, which heats up the air temperature overall a lot quicker than, let's say, when there's snow on the ground. So as a result of higher than average snow during a La Nina, we typically should see colder than average conditions than what you typically see during a La Nina, and that's definitely something to keep in mind. However, it's in the southern United States, right around New Mexico, Texas, Colorado, you see that it's drier than average when it comes to snow, and that could certainly warm up the temperatures along with a La Nina. So as a result, it's more likely than not to experience a warmer winter throughout the southern United States as a result of snowfall patterns as well. Now, taking a look taking a look at the drought monitor for the United States is another important factor when determining the temperature in the United States for this winter. Because when there's a drought, it's typically a lot warmer than average because, of course, there's a lot less clouds that block the short radiation from the sun from hitting the surface and heating up the air overall within an urban area or within an area in general. But you see that in the west coast of the United States, we're still deep in a drought. We've been in a drought for quite some time now, a little over a year now. And the thing is with droughts, it's very difficult for droughts to go away completely because typically when there's a drought, there's a big ridge that's located over the drought-stricken region, and that ridge is very difficult to get rid of. So more likely than not, this drought should continue into the winter time. That definitely should raise up the temperatures throughout the west coast of the United States. While I think in the northwest, the Pacific Northwest, they might get out of the drought because typically during a La Nina, we see a prevailing Pacific jet move through, bringing a lot of troughs and a lot of precipitation through the Northwest Pacific during a La Nina. So I do expect the Northwest Pacific to still get out of a drought. However, for the southwestern United States, which typically receives drier than average conditions during a La Nina, compounded by the fact that we're still in a drought, I still think the southwest coast of the United States will still remain in a drought, and that certainly should raise up the temperatures above normal in that region. So in the southwestern United States, I expect the temperatures to be warmer as a result of a drought and a La Nina in the region. Now, another factor we also need to take a look at when determining the the air temperature for this winter throughout the United States is the sea surface temperatures, because sea surface temperatures play a major role in temperatures not only in the United States but throughout the entire world. And when a body of water is a lot warmer than average or a lot cooler than average, it has some major effects when it comes to air temperature within the continental United States. And you see that within any landmass in general. So right now you see that the sea surface temperatures throughout the United States are a lot warmer than average. So that could certainly raise up the temperatures, especially along the coast, since the sea surface temperatures are warmer than average. However, I don't think it's gonna be enough to offset the fact that we're gonna experience a La Nina for this year, which typically brings colder than average conditions throughout the northern United States. And while the sea surface temperatures might moderate the temperature a little bit to the point where it might not be as below average as it could be, let's say, if the sea surface temperatures were around average or below average. However, I still think that the La Nina will overall have more of an effect when it comes to air temperature than sea surface temperatures. So I wouldn't put so much weight on the sea surface temperatures, but it could raise up the average air temperature along the coasts, maybe by around 1 degree, but that's about it. So I think a La Nina will be more impactful when it comes to air temperature for this winter. And another thing we need to take a look at, and this is probably the most reliable data point that really indicates what type of average temperatures we'll see this winter, is pretty much the climate division composite temperature average from the National Weather Service. And you see that right now the average temperatures during so pretty much this data set pretty much compares all the La Nina years to the long-term average, which extends from 1991 to 2020. And I included all the La Nina years, and it pretty much put all this all the average temperature during La Nina years into this one big into this map. And you see that in the northern United States, it typically hovers around 0 degrees. And by the way, these temperatures include daytime temperatures as well as nighttime low temperatures. So if you're expecting this to be a daytime average temperature, then it might seem a little low to you, but keep in mind this also includes nighttime temperatures. So it is around average when it comes to nighttime temperatures. However, it is slightly below average in the northern United States when it comes to air temperature, but for the most part, it is around what you should typically expect when it comes to average temperatures throughout the United States, when it comes to when it comes to combine the average of daytime and nighttime temperatures. And for the northern United States, we typically see temperatures hovering around zero, the extreme northern portions of North Dakota and Minnesota. Just south of that, it's around you experience temperatures around 10 to 20 degrees, and then just south of that in the 20s, which includes cities like Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, and more cities such as Denver and Salt Lake City. You guys typically experience temperatures hovering around the 20s most of the winter, mostly during a La Nina winter. Just south of that, it's in the 30s, such as New York City, Philadelphia. This extends to St. Louis as well, where during a La Nina winter, you typically experience temperatures in the 30s, and so on and so forth. So my map I made is very similar to this. I made a couple changes as a result of the sea temperatures, because of course they could have a minor effect when it comes to the overall average air temperature throughout the region, especially along the coast. But I think for the most part, this is an accurate representation of what type of average temperatures you should experience this winter. Now, taking a look at my overall forecast when it comes to the average temperatures this winter. So you see that for North Dakota and Minnesota, I'm expecting temperatures to hover right around the single digits for most of the year when it comes to the average between daytime and nighttime temperatures. So it's going to be extremely cold over there. Make sure to prepare for multiple below 0 degree nights, because that should happen a lot this winter in the extreme northern portions of the United States. And then just south of that, which includes cities like Minnesota, Milwaukee, you should experience temperatures right around the teens for most of this winter, combining the daytime high and the daytime low temperature. And then just south of that, which includes cities like Chicago, Detroit, Salt Lake City, and Denver, temperatures should hover mainly around the 20s. And just south of that, which includes cities like Albuquerque, New Mexico, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, New York City, Philadelphia, and even Washington, D.C., should experience temperatures mostly around the 30s this winter. And just south of that, which includes cities like Atlanta, Dallas, Texas, as well as Phoenix, Arizona, and San Francisco, I think temperatures should hover right around the 40s as a result of a La Nina winter, which is right around average for what you typically experience during a La Nina in those regions. Just south of that, which includes cities like Los Angeles, New Orleans, San Diego, as well as Jacksonville, Florida, I think temperatures should hover around the 50s this winter, which is right around average as well. And then, of course, throughout Florida, the temperatures should rise to the 60s and 70s as your average temperature for this winter. So this is my average temperature for this year throughout the United States. In the northern United States, it should be slightly below average when it comes to air temperature, while the southern United States, it should be a little bit warmer than average as a result of a La Nina. If you want an even more in-depth forecast regarding the average temperature you should experience in your location, just comment down below your city or location, and I'll make sure to give you guys a forecast, a more in-depth forecast for your location when it comes to your average winter temperature you should experience for the 2021 and 2022 season. But yeah, guys, I guess that's it for this video. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather content. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather content. And I hope you guys have a good day.